Hi everyone, this is Kay and the Collective Soul Tarot. Welcome back to the channel and Merry Christmas. I've been away for a little while, so now I'm back and ready to take over and do this all again. So I hope all of you who celebrate Christmas had a really nice Christmas. I did. I visited with my daughter, and so it was just lovely. We actually got snow for Christmas, which was a wish of mine, because usually it's a black Christmas, but where she lives it's usually a white Christmas. But it had been black all the way up to actually Christmas Eve, if you can believe it. A snowstorm came in but didn't dump a pile of snow, just enough for just a small amount of snow to cover the ground, and so then it was a white Christmas. I was so happy. Truly blessed to have had that happen. Anyways, we're back now, headed to the new year, and I'm going to do a couple readings this week, and then it'll be 2024. So I hope that all of you are doing well, and that if you'd like to gift a private reading to someone for New Year's, please send them to my website. Give them the link that's in the description box below this video, or if you'd like one for yourself. And I just opened up an Etsy store too. The Collective Soul Tarot is too long, so I had to leave the off, and it's called the Collective Soul Tarot Etsy shop. And there I've got my private reading again listed, and I'll have some other things fairly soon too. But without further ado, let's get going, and we're going to tap into the Ciro Marchetti decks here and find out our past, present, and future, and then we'll use the Intuit Tarot for clarification. So let's cut and begin. Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, thank you so much for being here and guiding me today, with you surrounding me with your protective angelic wings. Will you please guide and assist me today with correctly interpreting the energies in the cards and to help me see clearly. Whew. Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective today in this general read for, I've moved my calendar, December 28th, 2023, Thursday. Okay, here we go. What's the past energy, Archangel Michael? Pathway. That was on the other, like, this is weird because you see I shuffle, and I even shuffle between days of reading very well. And there it is again. I think that was in the past, possibly on the last reading I did last week. So somebody's been on a journey, okay, going into the light, moving. We are all on a journey. We're all on our own path leading to the divine, back to who we really are. Now, the memory of our holy selves, our light, our pure conscious self, had to be left behind because we said we wanted to go forward and not know ourselves as we are, because we want to know ourselves as we are not for a while. Like, let's think about it. Pure consciousness or stillness, God, whatever you want to call the highest source of life, is unconditional love. There's no wavering at all. It's absolutely like there's no emotions to color pure consciousness. Excuse me. And that's what we humans have, is those emotions and the ability to think negatively, which causes our journey to be very much highs and lows, sometimes a lot of rock bottom times too, where there's only one way to go, and that's up. So we have decisions and choices to make all along the way on the path. And sometimes it's a meandering path, like quite a different, it's the tree of life, right? Path. Or sometimes it's just a little meandering, depending on how you were raised and conditioned and how much you remember about who you are. The more you learn about who you are, the straighter your path becomes. Okay, so there's not all these hardships and pain and sorrow and grief and anger and all those lower energies of the 3D world. And the 3D world is our final point of creation. Okay, so the body, right? The soul comes in through the womb, right, through the mother, and is born as a babe, an infant baby, and you're usually still fairly much pure consciousness, but being tainted enough with the lower densities of the 3D world energy. Energy of the 3D world. It's 3-dimension, right? There's only 3 dimensions. What is it? Length, width, and height, right? And but you know, pure consciousness does not have any form to it at all. At all. It's pure consciousness. You can't see it unless you have that inner sight. You cannot see it, but it is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in us. It's outside of us. It's in everything. In fact, everything that we are, everything that looks to be outside of us is really within us. I know it's a hard thing to wrap your mind about, but it's the truth. You know, there's nothing that is outside of you that has not come from within. So if you don't like, that's the thing. If we don't like what we're seeing outside of us, it's because whatever is inside of us is attracting that, which means there's a lot of that lower vibe energy going on. If there's lower vibe energy things happening in your experience, then it means there's something that needs to be cleaned up within ourselves, and we all have to do it. Because when we're born, we're mostly pure consciousness. Like, there's still very much pure consciousness. We're pretty much a clean slate. Okay, it's not until, you know, days or months later, with all the conditioning of the fears and the must and should do's, and don't behave like that, and stop this, and quit that, and do this and do that, that comes upon us as we grow and develop. We start forgetting about that peace within us, that gentle peace of unconditional love, because the outside world is so distracting. It's just so distracting, and we have to stay on top of our toes, even as a small child. And that's why otherwise things come hurtling at us, like, you know, our mother's hand, or just being left alone, abandoned, abused, and so forth and so on, in any way, shape, or form by the people around us that we're to look to for love and protection, right? But it's not working out that way, and so we develop coping mechanisms. Yes, we develop coping mechanisms. Some of it might be about crying. Crying might be a coping mechanism for some. Others, it would be screaming. Others, it would be not saying a word and just being really, really shaking in fear and being timid and shy. Might present itself in nightmares or night terrors or dreams, you know, big hairy monsters chasing you down the street. It's all sorts of ways, because we're all different, that because of the body, personality, we're all different, slightly different, but within us we're all the same. The soul, that spirit, that Holy Spirit, that God that's within each one of us. So it's about being born so that you have to forget who you really are because of outside conditionings. Now, if you were born in a family that went to church and were devout Christians, or whatever you are, devout Muslim, I'm not even going to go there, because I don't, you know, that's neither one thing or the other. It doesn't really interest me. My spirituality does, but not that kind of stuff. So, but you might have been born in that, and so you were fairly close to God, just because you were in the habit with your family and had the desire to attend church and be around people who also were there for worshiping God. Now, not everybody who goes to church is really there to be a devout Christian or whatever you are. But if you were lucky enough for that, then you're not as badly conditioned in the negative way, fearful way, as others would be that have not really had that opportunity or that benefit. And there's so much more to say about that. But as we grow older, we become less and less, if you're not like that, right? We become less and less in tune with who we really are. And then we start becoming pessimistic, sarcastic, negative thinking, and having a whole lot of excuses as to why things happen to us, and we're not really realizing and understanding that the God is within us that we think is outside of us. but is in us. And if we ever wanted to have help and support, all we had to do is ask, like to turn inwards and ask. It's about going back, remembering now that you're an adult, you have all sorts of information. Like the internet is what? It really is the umbilical cord from the universe to the human being. That the umbilical cord of information, right? Where you can get on there and you can ask anything. And there'll be a plethora of websites and links to click on that'll provide your information on your spirituality and anything else you wanted to know, right? So it's there for the asking, and all we have to do, really, not even with a computer or a phone or whatever, we just go sit a minute and think and feel what it is that we want to know about. Asking our soul or our God in prayer or meditation, and waiting, patiently and without expectation. Well, expecting to hear, but not without that kind of like, I need to know now, or how come I haven't heard it? I'm not going to hear it. How am I ever going to know? It's controlling. We have to reset our mindset. It's about resetting our mindset so that we can actually think differently in a way that's beneficial and for our higher purpose, right? Beneficial and for a higher purpose. And this life is what that's all about. It's about being what you are not, being what we are not, thinking we can be what we are not, really. But it's about the journey of thinking we are not what we are, thinking we are not what we are, and what comes of that. What comes of that is a lifetime of struggle and strife and ups and downs and hardships and a little bit of love and unconditional love just kind of peppered in there, like sprinkled in every now and again. We get a day or a moment where it's just wonderful, like maybe Christmas Day when you open up a present, you get what you want. Okay, so now that you got what you want, what's next? And do you have to wait a week or more of the other like lower vibe kind of feelings, and maybe you got some extra special feelings going on for that week because between Christmas and New Year's, and then the new year, and you might have a New Year resolution and you're feeling really excited and optimistic and motivated about that. But it's just all going to not end completely necessarily, or it might. And you're kind of back into your everyday ritual, everyday routine, and things are like, wow, okay, so what do I got to look forward to today? Well, I don't really feel like there's much to look forward to today other than, I'm going to do what I usually do. And however you feel about that, you might feel really good about that, you might not feel really good about that. But when you start purposely bringing in the light, uncovering that core that's in the middle of the onion, remember? That soul light right there, uncovering it from the fears and those beliefs about yourself that you were conditioned into as a child through whatever experiences you had with people, with other people, and experiences with things, right? That made you fearful and made you think you had to think a different way, and made you develop coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms to protect yourself, to protect your emotions, the way you feel about things, and to protect your body. Okay? Those are defense mechanisms. And I've talked about them in great length already, and you probably maybe even sick of hearing them, but it is the reality. The reality is that we are all on this path to the light, to going back to remembering who we were when we first came into this world, that very, very moment where you were birthed into this world. You were so precious still, and you are precious, but you've been clouded by how you have been interpreting the things in your world that have been coming towards you, or that you've been witnessing with others. So it is like, it's a mindset reset is what it comes down to. Mindset reset. You have to reset your mind. You have to reset your thoughts so that you can feel differently than you did yesterday. And so when you feel differently, you act in that same resonance of the way you feel. Like, for example, if you changed your thought to, well, maybe I can be grateful for something today. You know, I'm really grateful for the bed, the sheet, and the pillows I sleep on at night to give me a good night's rest. Suddenly that sends a message, that the brain sends that, from that thought, sends a message to your amygdala to tell the other hormone organs to produce whatever, you know, would be a good feeling, like an endorphin or something. Dopamine, whatever, it gets released into your body and you start feeling really good. Excuse me. So then you feel really good because you had a grateful thought. You sat there and thought about that for half a minute or more. And you started feeling lighter because of that. Well, then just in those few moments or that half hour or whatever, where you feeling slightly different than what you would normally do without having that moment of gratitude, you actually feel like, well, you know what? I feel like I'm going to go for a walk today. I feel like I want to go for a walk today. Or I feel like I want to call up so-and-so who I haven't talked to in a long time. Or I want to go downtown and buy myself a new t-shirt or a new pair of shoes or something, right? It's going to make you want to do something different than what you would otherwise do because you're feeling different. That's why. And you're feeling different because you're thinking different. That's just the way it works. You think, it causes a feeling in your body because of the amygdala getting the signal from the mind to do, to release endorphins or to release those hormones that make you feel afraid, like so that you would either fly, that fight or flight response, right? And then you act on whatever it is you're feeling. That your body is a tuning fork. It feels what it is that your mind is thinking. Just the way it works. Psychology and science just have proven that over and over again with scientific tests, research, and it's just it is what it is. It's exactly what it is. So we're all on the path to learning how to navigate through our life the best that we can, and the easiest way to get the good feelings to show up more often in your life, in our life, is by thinking about the divinity that's within us that we've practically covered up with fears and negative dysfunctional beliefs and behaviors and sarcasm and hate and sorrow and grief and just fear. That's all fear. That's all fear. Every little bit of it. Acting out is a fear. Acting out in a harsh or negative way, in any way, dysfunctional, disruptive way, is fear. That's the bottom line. There's only love and there's fear. In reality, there's no fear. It's love, unconditional love, pure conscious, remembering who we are again, going back into that pure conscious state where God is, where we all are. We're going from that going from the fear back into unconditional love, back into love, leaving the fear behind, saying goodbye to it, healing it, leaving it. And you don't have to die. Your body does not have to die for that to happen. You can actually do that while you're still alive in this body. So we got a wealthy man, and for whatever reason, I've got concern pulled up here. That's really weird. All right, it was showing me it was concern and wealthy man were both turned up. So I guess that's it. There we got path to feeling wealthy in every way, shape, or form, not just financially, but probably very much so that way. But something's making you sad. Something's making you worried. It's back here on this part of the path that you're like this. Okay? When you're on the path here, where you're still not there yet, this is you. This is us, okay? Concerned, worried, afraid, all sorts of things going on, busy, chaotic thinking. And this is when you reach the light, you become wealthy and abundant, looking sharp and feeling great. Got the world by the whatever, and the tiger by the tail. Hey, my daughter just gave me one of those clocks for Christmas. Right there. My daughter gave me one of those. It doesn't look exactly the same. It looks more like this one, which is what my dad gave me a long time ago for Christmas. Just showing you. Why not? Like that, right? Except my cats dropped it, broke the acrylic covering and the mechanism that turns the little bloop 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 bobbles around. Wow. And so she gave me one that's a little bit bigger than that, about that size of that one there. That's got a glass covering, and it was made in Germany, and it looks like that face. It doesn't have this kind of mechanism kind of thing. It has that, which my dad bought me. But anyways, getting back to this, that's interesting. You will be wealthy in every way when you start really like consciously and deliberately moving into the light. And how do you move into the light? It's about training yourself to think and spending time in those quiet solitude times of introspection, whatever, and thinking about what's most important to you. And I don't mean what's most important to you in the world. I mean what's most important to you in the way of feeling. How do you feel? Pay attention to how you're feeling. If you're not feeling the way you would like to be feeling, then you know there's some negative, fearful belief that's down in your subconscious mind that needs some attention, which is really where your inner child, your wounded inner child sits and is calling out to you to pay attention to it. I said the other day, and it just came out of me spontaneous, is how can you expect, and please, no hate messages about this, it's just my thought. It just makes sense. It's how can you honestly expect to be a mother or a father, a parent, to be a parent to children if you're not paying attention to your own inner child? I mean, it just makes perfect sense, right? Okay, so let's clarify pathway. We have bridges. That's a path. And we have the tree of life. Didn't I just talk about that? Yeah, I did. I just talked about that. Well, that's really interesting. So there you go. I said it's like the tree of life. So you're here, which is down here in the three-dimensional. Here, which is being like on this side of the crevasse. The, whatever you want to call it. What would they call it? Just the mountain passage, like passage through a mountain kind of thing, where you're on this side of it and you're down there, okay? As you decide you want to go on to this one, which leads to a higher elevation, okay, than the one you were on, that doesn't show any higher elevation here. It does over there, but you probably have to go from here to there and then from here to there to get to those higher elevations. But this one's the highest elevation that we can see in the picture. So from getting from the lower to the higher, you have to build a bridge. And this is all about bridging your way all the way up to the top. Now, most people who are perhaps born into a spiritually focused family, and they spend an awful lot of time in prayer and meditation and whatnot, and they're Europeans, like monks and stuff like that too, nuns, whatever, they're going to most likely take the straighter path, but they're going to have a few hardships along the way too, but not like the rest of us, okay? But yeah, we're going to be meandering all over the way to get up there. Most of us do not go straight up, and going straight up means it's faster. Yes, it's faster to get to the light, back to your pure consciousness. However, it'd be harder because it's like climbing the mountain, climbing a vertical face mountain, right? So it's learning how to build bridges. So once you get over here, you build this bridge to over there, and then you would build a bridge to over there if that's where you want to go. But yeah, it's about overcoming challenges and obstacles so that you can get from where you find yourself to be and where you want to be. It's about longevity and health, meaning that you're going to plant roots within the rainbow, plant your roots firmly in the spiritual in your belief spirituality, because it's as above, so below then for you. As I was saying, if you're more here, closer to the light, you'll have more of this, which means you're bringing down, like you're bringing whatever your abundance and your inheritance is, your divine inheritance of all good things. You're bringing that energy, because it's just energy at that point above us, into form to the 3D world. So as above, so below. So whatever is above, all that really great spiritual energy, you're going to bring it into yourself and into your life through yourself. Okay? And nothing comes into your experience that doesn't go through you first. So you are going to be have all sorts of things in your 3D world that you desire, because you're learning and growing to reach up, to reach higher into your divinity that's going within yourself, and spending time with yourself, talking to your wounded inner child to help heal that wounded inner child, so that you can learn to love your child, that one within you that's been needing to be loved from way back then, that developed all those defense mechanisms, to heal all those defenses, because as an adult you have so much more power that you don't need those kind of defenses. You don't need to operate by default on those defenses in your life anymore, which just brings you a lot of heartache, strife, and feeling abandoned and neglected and rejected, and so forth and so on. Not feeling worthy for one reason or another. Work might do that for you, or a relationship, or both, or just people just shun you, or you just behave in a way that when you get home you feel like, I shouldn't have done that, whatever, because what did it get you? So there's just, without spending time focusing on the light that's within you, which is that love, that loving feeling that comes through your heart from your soul, spending time with that one, healing your inner child, those defense mechanisms, so that that light can shine out through your hands, your eyes, your words, your actions, your steps, and just your motivations and intentions, and act on your world, operate on your world like that, from that light within. It is, if we're not doing that, it's just a life. Really, it's just a life that could be so much better. It's just a life that could be so much better, and all you have to do is ask. So ask for what's above to be below. Let the rainbow of, like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, to shine into your world, into you, so that it can come out of you. This is the journey this collective is on. That's what Archangel Michael is telling us right now. This is the journey we've been on. We've been on this journey trying to overcome life's obstacles and challenges, because we've largely forgotten and have neglected our inner divinity. Our inner divinity that has been there since the dawn of time, since the dawn of your birth. It's been there, okay? And it's there for the long haul. It's there for you to gain wisdom and be healthy in every way, and then be wealthy. Be healthy, longevity, and health. This is good health, and this is longevity. You plant your roots deep, deep, deep within your divinity, within yourself. Self-care, self-love practices make you a priority. This is what comes as a result, and so much more. So, present day, please, Archangel Michael. Wealthy man, what can you say about that? Thank you. Gratitude. Oh, look at the Emperor. Wow. And the Sun. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look how you're feeling right now. Are you on top of the world or not, Emperor? You must be feeling right on top. Whoever the collective is that's this message is for today, you're feeling like you're on top of the world for one reason or another, and it has to have something to do with reaching for the light within yourself. That one right there, the Sun, which is, represents God. But inner happiness, complete and utter happiness, expansion and growth. Look at you. I mean, you're just so comfortable in your own skin. You got beautiful clothes to wear too, but you're so comfortable in your own skin, feeling like an emperor, in love, an emperor in love with yourself. That's definitely not in a selfish way when it's divinely inspired, okay? But you're the masculine, the epitome of masculine energy here with that symbol there, right? The male symbol, masculine symbol. But you are feeling very wealthy in many different ways because you become more comfortable in your own skin. And it's as a result of turning within to get to know your inner divinity that we've largely forgotten. For most of us, especially in the Western world, we have largely forgotten because the outside world has been so distracting, but that's just a representation of what's going on inside. The distraction on the inside is the chaotic thinking too much and not relaxing and resting and sitting in solitude and having retrospection and reconnecting with God and sending God your love and gratitude as He envelops you, as you feel it enveloping you in return. Just at intimacy with God, right? Never mind another human being. But that intimacy is within you, so you're really becoming intimate with yourself in such, all very positive ways, right? Into me, I see is what intimacy is. Into me, I see. So concern, what's going on? If it's all this is great stuff, what's this about, Archangel Michael? We have the Tower, which is not the same as the Tarot Tower. It's a place of refuge. And then the Ship. So you're going on a journey. You're actually literally going on a journey, not just this journey here. That magnifying glass underneath it. Okay, so, excuse me. This is about being able to go to the top of the tower so that you can have a good look at what's all around you for your sense of security and safety alone, really. What's coming at me or what's not? Is everything good, or is there some kind of a warring nation coming towards me that I have to protect my castle or fort? But it's also to do with corporations, organizations, institutions, and education. Okay, so there is something. These clarify the concern card, right? There's something concerning that maybe there's a delay or something, or that you might not have the right documents or the right clearance, because this is about being given the right passage, right? Let's see, 19. It's about protecting borders, I think, and passages into the city too, as well, such as the multiple. Okay, yeah, it says here. Watchtower built on high ground for surveillance over the countryside beyond. In current times, it may relate to border control or control of passage to a city. So it could be that you're trying to get some kind of clearance into another country that you're going to be either sailing to or flying to or going on a train to. That's what this card is, the Ship card. You're actually going somewhere with this one. So there's there has to, you're concerned that your movement forward, like to be able to go, is it's going to be, it's regulated, right, in the sense that you have to receive clearance, you have to be approved for it, whether it's a work permit, maybe a work permit, a passport, immigration, like green, if you're going to the United States, for example, it'd be a green card. You file for I-551 or something, in order for you to be able to come into the country and stay for a longer period than 6 months, right? And then you need a work visa as well. So I don't know, but it has something to do with getting the clear, like all clear, right? It's all clear, you're good to go. That's it. You're all clear and good to go. That's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for, but it's concerning you. And I'm wondering if it's concerning you because you're just like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm good to go. Like, I really am good to go. Giddy up. Like, get on your horse and giddy up, right? I'm ready to get my chariot and go. Like, I don't want to hold back any longer. I don't. I just feel like things, I just have to wait, and then wait some more. Wait, right? Yes, well, we shall find out in any case. I think, though, that you've been overcoming obstacles and challenges. You have been tapping into your divinity and bringing it into your mind so that the balance is good between your soul, your heart, and your mind. Balance is good. They're shining upon each other. They're listening to each other. They're informing each other. And you're feeling very, very like affluent. You know, when you feel like that, you feel like you are a beacon of light. You feel like you can bring great influence into the world because the wisdom you've gained, and you're just feeling so charged up from inside to the out, because it comes out through you in your mannerisms, in your energy, through your cells, through your touch. You know, it just your words. It just comes out through you, and it touches the world around you in the same way. And people who it doesn't seem to touch, it has touched them, but it's going to be a latent kind of effect. It's like the raindrop that's just come down from the sky, but it goes, stops in midair, right? Just before it hits their head. And it's going to hang there above them wherever they go. Like Charlie Brown in the cloud, right? But this isn't a cloud. This is good spiritual love. It's hanging there above them until they finally get vulnerable enough that it is then received. And it goes in, gets into the top of their head, and it enlightens and expands the neuronal activity that's going on, starts creating different neural pathways in the brain that are looking for a connection to something that's more like itself, because it's a different type of thought than you've ever had before because of that rain. I'm just trying to give you some pictures about how this works, you know, some images. But yeah, the raindrop of pure positive love that you have given to someone else who may not be ready to receive it right then, it's there. It's above them, or however way you want to envision it to be, but it's there. And as soon as they become vulnerable enough, maybe they have to go through a few more hardships in life before they say, God, if you're real, you need to show me now. And then bam, that raindrop falls onto their head, and they go, aha. They feel different. They have an epiphany or something. It may not be in that moment when the raindrop falls, but it will eventually, because it's sunk in. It's in the soil, right? It's a seed of hope. I was just looking at the word hope on my paper right here. And I have ahead of me. I was looking at hope. Okay, now I'm even shuffling the deck, which is weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and start clarifying. So yes, you are going to be able to affect your outside world just by changing your inside world, your inner self. And you do that only by tapping into your true divinity. People think that people talk about how you want to fix a relationship, for example. Okay, let's say a husband and wife, right? And things have been going kind of south for the marriage. But the husband it could be for 1 or 10 million reasons why. But the husband or the wife thinks, well, maybe if I just do this, maybe if we just do that, maybe if we just plan to go here for a while, let's have another honeymoon, way without the kids. It's maybe if I buy her chocolates, maybe if I buy him, take him to a fancy sports car showroom or whatever. Maybe those kind of things will bring us closer together. It could, yes, and it might very well be. However, it won't last. And it's because we're looking for a fix, which is like, it's not a problem to do. Like, do it, of course. Yes, absolutely. Do it until you exhaust all avenues, right? Do it until all your avenues are exhausted, which is when you become really vulnerable, okay? But until then, do whatever you need to do in the outside world, but really it's about fixing the inside world, your world, and that other person fixing their world. But you can help heal another through changing yourself. But they will only go as far as they're ready and willing to go, because they have free will. But it's about fixing yourself. It's not about fixing, as they say with the Titanic, right? There's that saying, it's impractical to go to the deck of the Titanic and rearrange all the deck chairs so that they're all nicely neat and organized, like as though you're going to have a party there or something like that, and the ship's sinking. Like, why would you do that? But that's the idea of that saying. It's like rearranging the chairs on the deck on a sinking ship. So that's what it is like if you're trying to bring things from your outside world in to your relationship to try and fix it so that the two of you can be closer. That's great, and it's going to be a great fix for however prepared you are to stay at whatever level you want to stay at with it. But if you want so much more more secure inner intimacy with your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you need to fix what's going on inside of yourself, that subconscious mind, the wounded inner child, as to why your relationship is riddled with challenges. You want to get from where you're feeling right now to where you want to be in that intimate time and relationship time with your spouse over here. But you have to build a bridge, and the bridge is first, it's you building a bridge from your ego, like our fears, right? Our personality, our body personality, to inward to where our soul lives. Our soul lives. It's and the bridge in most cases in the Christian belief system is Jesus, right? But the bridge is anything. The Holy Spirit, it bridges your soul, bridges God, bridges just you having a willingness to look within and say, I want to be more in touch with who I am and not be just like everybody else on this planet. Okay? You want to be unique. You want to have a purpose. You want to feel like you have a purpose. And with all of that, that's going to make somebody that wants to be with you to be with you. And if it's your spouse, great. But if it doesn't work out to be your spouse, it'll be somebody else who appreciates that's within you. Okay, so let's start clarifying the pathway. It is all about the inner you, as to how your outer you, your outer you, which is your world, your outer world will show up in your through your senses, where you're looking at things and hearing things, smelling things, touching things. We have the Ace of Coins. That's independence. That's a brand new path. It can represent. It can mean uprooting yourself. It can mean that you're just you're feeling stable and secure. There's a Four of Wands here. There's the King of Swords, and there's the Lovers on the back. Okay, and the Fool was right after that. Let's talk about the bridges. Card, please, Archangel Michael. All right, we have the Queen of Wands. the Nine of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Ten of Swords. Oh my. Okay, so the Tree of Life. Tree is a solar eclipse, which is about, it's big changes coming. Big changes are coming in about 6 months. The waxing moon, that is making progress. So the waxing is from the new moon to the full moon. Waning is where you're gathering information, you know, reflecting on what you've done in the upper portion of the phases to the lower phases, so that you come back to a new moon again and use that, what you've learned down here from the full to the new moon in your new phase movement. Okay. Haha, that's making progress, right? Oh, look at all these things here. Autumnal equinoxes, we again prepare for change. This is big changes are coming, making progress now, prepare for change. Big changes are coming as a result of tuning in, tapping into your divinity, living like you are who you are, living like you remember who you are. And then, oh no, we got some more to pull, right? We have the Nine of Coins, that's single life right there. Ace of Cups, and then the Eight of Cups. There's Ten of Wands. All right, wow, I pulled extra because of these cards here. Okay, so pathway, right? You have come to realize the divine has had their hand. Look at the hand there. Providing you a pathway that is all about, you know, reaching into your inner light, to going into the light, going back into the light. It's an offer where you're going to flourish, and you're going to meet somebody new, and you're going to feel stable, secure, abundance, and the potential. But it all had to come. This came after this, which is a risky endeavor, which is an unstable situation, delays, ironing out the details, greed, caution, under review, and revise. So it was all of from that your path was. Remember, I said, yeah, the concern, right? The concern that you have in everyday life for this reason and that reason. There's a plethora of reasons, or a myriad reasons, that the life living in fear and just peppers of love throughout your experience, your daily experience. You have had to figure out how to get from that to a place of peace, calm, serenity, and which is all, okay, peace, calm, and serenity and harmony is actually just other words for prosperity and abundance. Peace, calm, serenity, that's an inner experience that then you magnetize experiences that match that energy of peace, calm, serenity, and harmony. So then you are drawing in from the ethers, manifesting into form the experiences of that match that quality of energy. So those would be beautiful. And you might, maybe if you're not with someone right now, but you run across somebody, and they're the type of person who feels and believes like that too. Or, you know, you just start having experiences where you run, you know, maybe your car runs out of gas or a flat tire, and someone immediately pulls up and says, here, let me help you out, you know, and you say, well, I don't have any money to pay you, and you say, that's okay, it's a lagniappe. I'm not so likely saying it properly, a lagniappe, which is a freebie, you know. This is free, don't worry about it. It's good, it's all good. So that's what that Ace of Coins is that you, having gone through your hardships, okay, your up and downs in your life, you're still, you know, still trying to figure it out here, figure out which way is the more positive way, because, you know, if you're feeling really like having some bad luck, you're thinking, when is my luck going to turn? When is it going to turn around? Well, that's when you're feeling the bad luck, it's because you're off your path a little. You're off your path a little, over here or over here, whatever. You need to get back onto your path. And by doing that, you reset your mindset. Or you got lucky and something just shows up. You know, God's always helping us. God's always there. Shows up in many different ways, but we don't necessarily see it like that. We think it's something, we just got luck. We just got lucky. We just got lucky and I just was in the right place at the right time. Well, why were you in the right place at the right time? Okay, Four of Wands, celebrating a union. Okay, so you had then decided that you're going to do things by the book because you're on a path, you're purposely been put on a path, and because you went wayward at one time when you were like this, you got yourself into a relationship with somebody else that you chose over another person. You made a decision to go choose somebody instead of the other, like a karmic soulmate over a true soulmate. And you asked the true soulmate to be with the karmic soulmate, not realizing any of this, of course, right? It was just perfect for you at the time. But since then, you've asked that relationship, and you're now choosing the true soulmate. True soulmate to you is this one, that you know they're going to be wounded. This is the other woman, okay? That's the lover you didn't choose, the true soulmate. The Queen of Wands, she's the one you're trying to get back from where you are here to there, which is where she is over here, okay? And you're trying to figure out how to do that because you made her, feel real bad because you asked her out of your life back then. And since then, though, you realize that your marriage has been treating you in the same manner, very similar manner as you dealt with the Queen of Wands back then. And your marriage has now is now coming to an end over here with the King of Swords, being strategic, hiring a divorce lawyer or whatever, taking it to court, because someone has, your spouse has betrayed you, which I'm assuming is a female here, because we got the other woman as a female. But this marriage here has been betrayed. You have been reaching in to God because it's been so painful for you that you actually started looking within and asking God, why? PSYCHTAROLOGY, why, how, and when? Why is this happening to me? And by turning in to get some answers through that very vulnerable, humble time in your life, you actually started to see things for what they were. You were being enlightened here. So this is you betrayed this one here, and you betrayed your wife by having an extra with this one. But now you've been betrayed by your wife, you see. And all you want now is to build a bridge back to who you see as a Queen of Wands. Well, she was then, right? So the Tree of Life here, we have big changes are coming because you have been pulling in the divinity. You have been betraying yourself with real thinking that you are not anything divine, that you are not the divine. The divine is out there somewhere. It's not in me. You've been betraying yourself. But you have, because of all these harsh experiences, you've been looking within and bringing heaven to earth in you because you're communicating with God. So as a result, you've been finding your inner truth, which is a catalyst for change and transformation and new beginnings. So big changes are at foot here. Excuse me, guys. Okay, making progress. Yep. So like this has been a process. So you've been experiencing it, but learning from that experience of the betrayal that showed up in your relationship, because you are now realizing, seeing it through your vulnerable and humble phase in your life, that this is all about showing you what it was that you were doing so that you could fix it, right? You can only fix things. You can't fix your relationship from without. You have to do it from within. If you really want permanent and, well, permanent, results, permanent positive results. Excuse me, hiccup, my goodness. Okay, so then we have prepare for the change, which is make long-term plans and express gratitude. Then you shall harvest. Harvest what it is that you sow. Reap what you sow. And this is now your rewards are for your labor. You are become single. Okay, 9 of Coins is about being single. Independent, not codependent. Self-sufficient, sophisticated on your own and taking it easy. And you're matured, you're feeling fulfilled, and you're feeling free. Free from the harshness of those lessons that you learned with your karmic partner. And now, because you're following your heart, which is you praying to God for answers, for guidance, for intervention, you're praying to God. You want to follow your heart by returning to the one that you had rejected back then. You want to return to her. That's what's in your heart calling out to you. And so because you're listening to it, God is saying, we're offering you this opportunity of a brand new path of solid love, solid, long, going the distance love, love that does not change due to circumstances. But you must leave it all behind. You must leave it all behind. Everything, your whole mindset. You have to become a different person. You have to become enlightened. You have to become vulnerable. You have to become okay with being vulnerable, being okay with showing your vulnerable self, your fleshy side. You just have to, but with a lot of dignity and hope and faith and royalty, that's the dignity, integrity. You will become that changed man with so much prosperity and abundance. Whew. You won't know what to do with all of it. Okay, you just won't know what to do with all of it. You're going to be so fulfilled in every way. There's not one part of our lives that we can leave apart from our divine self, right? Okay, well, I'm going to be loving and forgiving and everything to my family, but not to my coworkers, for example, okay? Or to absolute strangers if I don't like what they're doing or I don't like what I'm seeing. They're going to scoff at them or flip them a bird or just ignore them and just not be really attentive or, just gentle with them. You don't have to gush all over them. Just give them a bit of a smile or nod or something. Okay, wealthy man. The magician, yes, master manifester. You have become, so you've moved from the rougher waters, having, well, in the regular tarot cards, they have the swords in the boat. That's the lessons you've learned that helped you grow, that helped you become enlightened. You took the lessons from the hardships that you were going through back here. You took the lessons, you're taking them and you're moving with that wisdom into pure, more calmer, that peace, that calm serenity and harmony way of feeling emotionally, right? And the Hermit, you've been isolating yourself. You've been going and seeking solitude with the Holy Trinity, if that means anything to you. But you have been looking for inner guidance. You've been doing some soul searching. This had been at one time a dark night of the soul for you, but you're still in it. Like, you are currently so in tune and in touch with your divinity, with your expansion, with your enlightenment, with your just your happiness, your incredible happiness, of that peaceful feeling that's within you. You're still in touch with it. You're still hanging out there. That's what's making you feel so wealthy, right? Because you've got the wealthiest being there ever was within you. and that is your soul. You do. And you're acknowledging that, because look at what you've been doing. You have been holding back, but not no more. Not anymore. Well, look at the stars right after that. But you have this invisible force within you that's helping you feel very confident, empowered, self-empowered, this personal power. You feel influential, and you've got a lot of potential within you because of the wisdom that you're taking with you right here. You manifested a new way, a new place to be in yourself and in your location, your physical location. You're moving away from, because the divine says, for this you must leave the rest behind. Release whatever does not any longer serve you. It served you. You've taken that wisdom with you with the Six of Swords, but you're moving on. You're moving on to higher and better places. Like you are like, oh my God, a shining orb of spirit in clothing. Okay. Yeah, shining orb of spirit, pure, unadulterated spirit, walking in clothing on two legs, or whatever your situation is. Yep. Number 28, please, Archangel Michael. We have the Five of Coins, okay, and feeling disappointed. King of Wands. The Eight of Coins, that's working real hard. And the Seven of Swords. There's the Knight of Wands that came in the Devil, but we don't have to bring them out, do we? No, we do not. We just know. We just know that there's been some player activity and toxicity in your life that you have been operating from and have been experiencing in your relationship with your spouse or your long-term partner, that you are leaving behind. The Sun now, please, Archangel Michael. Let's see if these come out now. We have the Two of Cups. Yeah, well, that makes you sunny and happy feeling. Knight of Cups. You do really love somebody and you want to let them know. Excuse me. Oh boy. The Ten of Cups at the end. Yeah. Okay, so you have been feeling very disappointed. I mean, it gave you the motivation. Like I said, that anger does. If anger is used in a way that helps motivate you, or to act in ways that are not disruptive or destructive, it's good anger. It's good for fueling your motivation. But if it's not, then it's bad. It's bad anger. There's good anger and bad anger. So you've been feeling disappointed, but it gave you the drive, the motivation to become that. It made you vulnerable. Feeling disappointed about how all this turned out, and then having these feelings of, not knowing if you can get from here to there where she is, right? She's the one that your heart is truly calling out for, and that's what this is saying. Truly calling out for. But, you don't know. You really don't know if this is going to be able to, like, you have such a strong desire. But this card, the Queen of Swords, is saying this is mentally strong. Strong, it says strings attached, things that you have a very strong desire to move towards her, who you see as being mentally strong. In other words, she's a great communicator, this Queen of Wands here. A great communicator, okay? She's going to remember this, and you know that. That's what's representing the toxicity here, is that your strong desire is that you want to move towards her, but however, this one here hasn't forgotten. That's what you're seeing anyways. Hasn't forgotten, and so she shouldn't, right? But she is fair. She'll hear you out, and she'll give you give you opportunities to prove yourself, in a sense, I guess, in a nicer sense, like to give you chances to show whether or not you're pure of heart, you know, that kind of thing, like no red flags. If she sees them, even if it's a yellow or orange flag, she's going to be discerning and concerned. And then, you know, she'll sit down and have a little chit chat with you and see what's really going on with you. But if she doesn't see that, she's going to say, hey, let's meet up, or let's go for coffee, whatever. But when you were, and you are still taking charge from the result of feeling disappointed, that anger, you want to take action and take control of your life, your situation that you gave away back here. Possibly because you were working too hard, too much. Maybe to make your wife, you know, have it all kind of thing. But you were putting a lot of time into your work, and there may be other reasons, like true core reasons as to why you were working more than you were paying attention to your spouse or your long-term partner. And that has to do with that childhood conditioning. If you're spending more time at work and focused on things that you really aren't spending time with your spouse, even when you're at home, then it's because you've been conditioned from your childhood days to focus on other things that have nothing to do with love and intimacy, okay? Because maybe love and intimacy for you was something you never really experienced with anyone. And that's why you were led to approach life and operate on life in sneaky ways. You know, being sneaky and betraying, like trying to get away with things, having more than the other, just feeling like you aren't worthy unless you have everything that you want, that kind of thing. But there is a core reason why you would work when you're in a relationship with someone that you promised to be with, right? But you're not. You're more focused on everything else but that intimacy with them, getting to know them really from the inside out. Because you can't just do that in 1 day, 2 days, 6 years, or whatever. It's a lifetime pursuit, getting to know your partner. Yes, because we all evolve, right? So anyways, that disappointment in this and in yourself fueled this vulnerability to be open, to receive, to ask, okay? You, through all of that, it confirmed who you really are in love with, the one that you want to move towards, with that devoted cup of sincere, friendly, loving cup of love. All right, so you know, through all of this, you have, if there's nothing else, you have been listening to your heart, and you've been finally confirmed about all that you've been feeling all along, that it's her, this one that you met back then, that you turned away because you're married or committed to someone else that you might have children with. But you know, that's the one that your heart, ever since you met that person, that one there, she touched your heart in some way that you've never ever experienced before. It was probably quite alien to you, and you never really have gotten that since. And but you remember that with her, and you want that back moving forward. It's concern, Archangel Michael. We have the Three of Swords. Well, that's something to be concerned about, right? Let's move these guys. We don't need them anymore. And we have the Page of Cups. Okay. And the Four of Swords with the Ten of Coins. And then the Two of Swords. I don't like that card. I don't. It's just sitting on the fence, not doing anything, because I'm not that kind of person, right? That's why I don't like the card. I don't sit on the fence, waiting and deciding. I take it to God. I get on it. I get on it. If I feel like it's a go ahead in the next day or two, I do it right now. Now, if I don't, then I know I shouldn't do it. Not right now, maybe later. So Three of Swords is a broken heart. Okay, broken heart. Heartbreak. Three of Swords. Because this is what I'm talking about. You're concerned about how she's going to receive you if you were to show up. If you were to tell her that you want to take a trip to come see her, okay? So that you have these plans, that you maybe are getting work abroad or whatever in another country. You're afraid that she doesn't want to be part of that, because you know that when you met her, you were acting, you offered a cup of love to her, okay? First of all. But second of all, this is about being, an ideal dreamer, being naive, being young, just being impulsive, offering your love and, messaging with the little things that you say that make the person really feel good and hopeful that there could be something long term in all of this. But that it threw her into what it did. It threw her into like focusing on her finances once she laid it down and said, that was too much heartbreak for me. He said he loved me, but instead broke my heart. He chose someone else over me, which I learned about, right? Maybe you learned about it. But she had been putting it down. She couldn't do it anymore. And she's been trying to change the way she's been feeling and thinking. She's been going within. She's been taking respite time. She's isolating, and she's it's like her own inner sanctuary, her own retreat. But she is now focused on long-term positive outcomes, finances, and everything else. Okay, so that's your concern, is that maybe she's already in a long-term commitment with someone else that she's happy with. So let's talk about the Tower card, please. And then we'll do the Seven of Wands, and we'll do the ship right away. Three of Coins, Queen of Coins, and the Sun. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the ship, please, Archangel Michael. The moon, this is the full moon. Okay, illuminated subconsciousness. Yeah, you are very aware. You are very aware of having made someone feel like an option, because you've been made feel like an option in your life, your love life. And there's the Four of Coins that wanted to come out before, and then we have the Two of Wands. Okay, so guys, it looks like you're feeling great, but you have this concern about moving forward, like literally going towards the one you love. You have been putting up some healthy boundaries, okay, through your experience, and you've been putting up healthy boundaries. You are worth fighting for, okay? You are worth fighting for. But the one that put you in a third-party situation was your committed partner over here that you chose over. This is the karmic right here, the Queen of Coins. She is the one, through her behaviors, that's been bringing to your awareness through her behaviors, mirroring back to you what it was. So you've been able to get up on top of the tower here and looking out on your land to seeing how safe or unsafe, or how secure, how not secure it was. And seeing you've had a very, very good opportunity to have a higher vantage point. And that's what this is all about. Higher vantage point. You've been enlightened about what she was all about, what she was doing, okay? Caused you a great deal of pain. Sorry, that's my dog making that noise in the background. She's just trying to get up. But you have been, you have a great vantage point there, okay? To see what it is that's been going on in your long-term commitment that puts you down on your back too, feeling like, you may very well be concerned about making a huge change in your life, and being as betrayed as you were with this one, and this one obviously having felt betrayed as well from what how you dealt with her in the past. But this illuminated subconsciousness is all about your emotional awareness. Like you're trying to move on, but you have to do it. Like I said, you cannot. It's pointless to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic when it's sinking, right? It's pointless to do that. So if you're trying to fix it from the outside instead of going within, it's pointless. It could bring a happy outcome, but only for a period of time. And then it's like you're back to square one again. Back to square one again. But this, feeling, you have many options. However, you made somebody feel like they're an option. And so this is you feeling like you've got to hang on to what you've got, but you've got to make a decision to go somewhere else. Now, I've been distracted listening to the noise of the dog in the background, right? So I'm kind of off my game at the moment. But there is that you've been looking at yourself and seeing how you've had so much confusion going on within you as to why you've been making the decisions you've been making. And it's because you've been having attachments. You're attached to people, places, and things. And in this case, it's a pentacle or a coin. You've been attached to your money, okay? You don't want to lose your money. You don't want to lose your money, but you do need to make a choice. So to me, it sounds like you have not, with all of this going on, that you aren't single. You're feeling good right now. But in the near future, you've got this to look at. You have to, in order for you to get from here to there, to this one here, if that's who you're moving towards, you have to get this one off your back, quite literally. You have to get that one out of your life. You have to leave it behind. It's what the divine is telling you in the past. You have to make sure you find the strength and the courage right here to keep growing and expanding, to move forward, so that you are not going to be concerned about this one anymore. This concern will be one that you can quite literally move away from. Airplane, train, or what's the other one? Ship. Yeah. You have to make a decision about where you want to be. Do you want to be with your attachment, which is this one? Because it's all about the pentacle. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. Remain in confusion because of the way she's been behaving, right? She put you in a third-party situation, just like you put her in a third party, or someone else in your life in a third-party situation. So, yeah, you got some decisions to make. You got a decision, which way are you going to go? Charting a course. You have an opportunity to move one or the other through your decision. You can do visualization practices so that you can discover like I said, what's the right decision, right path for you to go, by asking God. Simply by asking God to give you a sign, and be good with waiting for it patiently, but with expecting you're going to hear, or that you will receive the guidance. Okay, you will receive. Now, I'm sure you heard that 50 million times, but if there's 50 million people telling you that, there's something to it, right? I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't believe it myself, and I'm not. If I wasn't experiencing that which I talked to you about, then I wouldn't tell you. You don't know that. You don't know me well enough, but you can trust me. I hope that you know that, but who knows? If you don't feel you can trust me, then that's that's something that's your prerogative, and that's something that you may need to heal from. It might be a trust issues that you have that hold you back from moving forward. But look at this beautiful rock. My daughter found this when they were on a hiking trip in, who knows, Wyoming or Nebraska or Colorado. But it looks like this, isn't it? Looks like this. It's just not shined up and whatnot. It's a what is it called? The crystal. Yeah. Okay. Don't know. So since we're already at an hour and 20 minutes, let's just go ahead and do one of these, or two of these, or three of these. Okay, what do you think? Seasons of the Witch, the Yule Oracle. It is. I know the name of it, but you know, I've got so focused on reading the energies in these cards, my mind is blank for everything else. I trust me, that's true. Okay, what is it? Maybe you know. You tell me in the comments. Remind me what it is. So we have got. Yeah, let's go. Let's do some of these. Some inspiration from the witches. We have Father Christmas. Well, how did thy get here? Why and how? The PSYCHTAROLOgy. Lost perhaps? Oh yeah, because you're meandering a lot. We all do that, right? We weren't seeing the light within us yet. No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. That's the good, that's the good. Yep, all good, all good. That's a beautiful card. Love that message for you. Okay, we have the darkest hour. I the Hermit. There is a void of thy darkness swells, the shadow of the soul. Yeah, that shadow of all those fears that cover up the onion, the core of the onion, which is the soul shining, not allowing it to shine with all those fears, layers of muck and stuff over top of the beautiful soul. Swallowing, it says here, there in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. Swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. Darkest hour. Yeah, that the darkest hour is where you just feel like you're being eaten alive by darkness, by the terrible things that are going on in your life. Merriment, what joy, what glee beams from the sounds of voices, uplifting the webs of sorrow, glimmering as if no tomorrow. Yeah, so like as they say, live your life today as you were, don't have it tomorrow, right? So the darkest hours, let's look at that one. Darkest hour. There's Father Christmas. Maybe I need to read that one. Okay. Itchy nose, guys. So keywords, naughty and nice. Well, of course. How did thy get here? Lost perhaps? No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. Yeah. What list will you be on this year, naughty or nice? Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Old Saint Nick, even Krampus are critical figures in holiday celebrations. We know these archetypes as the jolly old man who judges whether we are worthy of gifts, if you were kind-hearted, or lumps of coal if you were terrible. You may have grown up and stopped worrying about getting gifts for the holidays, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be mindful of how your energy manifests in the world. There's the magician right there. You are being guided to share a little kindness. Ask yourself, what would the best version of myself do in this situation? So that again is your soul wearing clothes, walking on your two legs in your life. Keep this in mind as you go about your day and see how this simple question can dramatically shift your perspective. That's that reset and mindset. Kindness costs nothing but can reward you with endless blessings. That's what I talk about all the time. What would the best version of myself do in this situation? As I was growing and developing and still do, I always say, what would Jesus do, right? That was before it really became a thing. What is it? What would Jesus do? WWJD. That's before this WWJD business came out. I was already asking myself that. What would Jesus do in this situation? So, darkest hour. Keywords: longest night, abyss, and void. I talk about how the subconscious is like a cesspool, right, of negativity. A cesspool, yuck, muck and mire, right, that covers our beautiful inner core. Light and darkness, which lives below the subconscious mind, okay? Light and darkness go hand in hand. So the light has to come up through our subconscious mind, clearing and healing all those fears that have been covering up the light below, which is the soul that's below the subconscious mind. Then it has to go into the unconscious mind and then hits your conscious mind. You suddenly become aware of it. But the unconscious mind is like where you dream, kind of thing. It's kind of like you'll get the unconscious mind is where, you know, you're sleeping, dreaming, right? And your subconscious mind is showing you things through your unconsciousness, what it is that needs to be healed and to be seen, you know, to become aware of. So that when you become conscious again, you wake up, right, from sleep, hopefully you'll remember what you're dreaming. But if you don't remember the dream, eventually it'll show up like a bubble surfing, bubbling up from the bottom of the pot on the stove as it's boiling water, and it just comes up, and then it bursts like an epiphany, and aha, that's why I think like that too. And then you can say, well, is it serving me that I think like this too? If someone says something, or you witness something and you say, hey, that's the way I think too. What the devil? Right. So light and darkness go hand in hand. Just as the day turns into night, the soul must also go through periods of highs and lows. A low is called the dark night of the soul. Right here. See the Hermit? And many more than just that time, this phase in your life, I'm sure. Low is called dark night, a period where you feel lost, confused, and removed from your spirit. See, that's removed from remembering who you really are. You just feel like God's outside of you, and He's not. He is just He's not sleeping, but you could say He's slumbering in the depths of yourself, under that subconscious mind full of fears, you know, that cesspool of fears, negative thinking, beliefs that do not serve you. That's a conditioning from childhood. They served you possibly then, but they don't serve you anymore as an adult. It is common for the darkest night to appear during times of extreme stress and disruption. This is disruption over here. And while this process isn't pleasant and you will undoubtedly lose something, things will be for the better when you emerge from the journey. Woohoo, journey, right there, into the light, right? The darkest hour has appeared because you are being asked to examine what is absolutely necessary for your joy. I'll tell you, fears are only necessary in the sense that they wake you, if you do actually become conscious of it, they can wake you up from being afraid. Wouldn't that be lovely? That'd feel joyful. So, asked to examine what is absolutely necessary for joy. Is it money? Is it love? Is it fame or respect? Imagine being free of it, being free of all that. The darkest hour reminds you that material things are not necessary for happiness. That happiness is something that is available to you with or without material access, because it's within you. You may feel as though you have to be where you are, but that isn't true. So you think that, if I just go over here and create a whole new life experience over here, it'll be different and I'll be happy. Yeah, you might be. That's the rearranging of the deck chairs, right? On the sinking ship. You'll be happy for the time that part of the ship is not gone under the water yet. You are being guided to find true happiness within your spirit. Do not be afraid of change, and do not be scared to let go. Now see? Big changes are coming. Making progress. Prepare for change. And then walking away. You had to walk away as an independent person, single. Yeah, it says you're single here, so you must still be stuck in this mindset for some reason. I don't get this, okay? So it says here, doing so means you can see the light even when life feels hopeless. Self-focused happiness provides a guiding light when you are lost in the darkest hour. It will point the way home and help you to recover. Okay, so that's the darkest hour. Let's look at this. I mean, you're feeling pretty dang good, but you have this concern. This concern. And I say, your concern, all these cards right here that are clarifying these, they didn't foretell they didn't say what I had foretold about, you know, moving, going somewhere and being delayed because you're quite literally waiting on something. Waiting on some kind of approval. Maybe it's your own approval. Maybe it's your own approval. Yeah, I would think this should be over here, you know, and maybe it was supposed to be, no, because that was the first card on the deck to be pulled. Yeah. Okay, I was just thinking maybe I had them backwards. Here. I don't know. Merriment. Let's look at that one. Maybe that'll give us a clue. Archangel Michael, I sure would appreciate it. Thank you. For our collective here. Merriment. Okay. Merriment. The key words is happiness and following your soul. You never know what tomorrow holds. Our ancestors were very aware of day-to-day dangers. A hunting trip could go wrong, or a disease could wipe out an entire village. Perhaps that is why celebrations were such grand affairs. They were reminders to enjoy life when you could. Yeah, I guess, eh? What our ancestors didn't have are the opportunities we have today. It's never been easier to seek higher education, start your own business, or move away to a faraway place. Imagine what our ancestors would have done if so many paths to our success and joy were available to them. This card guides you to act on the things that bring you joy. Start a business if that aligns with your soul, or switch careers. Sign up for vocal training or retire early to spend more time with your family. Merriment has come to you because your soul is yearning for more moments of happiness that you are not getting in your current position, because we're so 3D, you know, lower vibe focused, positioned with 3D world, not allowing ourselves to be aligned with the heart, which is of the 5th, 6th, 7th, and higher dimensions, right, which is your soul. But it looks like you have here. You have, collective, you have done it. You've aligned with your soul. Become a very wealthy man in every way. And so why are you concerned? Why are you so concerned? Because I think that, okay, let's see. If you go with the idea that I think it's you need to make the final decision as to whether or not you go or not, right? It's going to cost you a lot of money, this move. I have to tell you, remember, the divine is all over your reading. If you but follow your heart and let go of your past, the divine is providing for your great big blessing of prosperity and abundance on your path. People, places, and things will just come in to just perfectly on your path in front of you as you move forward, and continuing to ask your spirit, which, you know, should I do this today? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Right? And get that kind of guidance. You do that and things would kind of like fall like dominoes for you, right? Ace of Cups is, you know, you're in tune with, this is self-love and love for the rest of the world because you're in love. So the divine is on your path, leading and guiding you. You got resources, you got worldly resources, and you've got the heart right here. You've got 3D and you have 5th, 6th, 7th, and higher dimensions here with the cup of love, path of love. So what I think this is telling us is that although you're feeling good here, there's a lot of people you got to leave behind. There's a life that you have to leave behind. There's an entire life that you were devoted to, committed to, that you have to leave behind. You had hopes and wishes to be, with your Queen of Pentacles, your spouse or long-term partner, to expand with her in your life and all that. But you've got to walk. You know that she's going to be one of the ones that you're walking away from. You divorced her. You're already single. You divorced her. This Queen of Coins, since you're divorced from her over here, this Queen of Coins could actually be the Queen of Wands now, who brings nothing but enlightenment into your life, like sun and happiness, expansion and growth, right? That you want to collaborate with. But you do know she's going to have healthy boundaries up too. And she's going to remember what happened back then. But it's about, your concern is collective, is that the nostalgia of a life. The only thing I could think of here is if it's that bad, because if you're just moving across state lines or into another country, like in Europe, they're all like clumped together, right? Just like the United States, it's different states right beside and around each other. If you're just moving a few countries over, or a couple of countries over, or a couple of states over, whatever, you can always go back. You can always be with your family and celebrate special occasions and whatever, right? It'd be fairly easy. But this one here, this is about going a long distance. The ship is going a long distance. It's plane, it's airplane, train, that would be going a long distance, okay? Or ship, overseas, right? So I would have to say, and especially if you're having to get work visas and all that sort of stuff, like real official documents, right, that you need in order to be able to make that move. To me, it's telling me you're leaving, that you're concerned about that, because everything that you have to, it's going to cost you a lot of money, but it's going to open up doors of opportunity for you. You're like this and that, making a decision, but you're going, but there's a concern about going because of the commitment, all that you put into your life here in the country where you live, the city or town, state and country that you live in. Okay, this is what you know to be true. This is what you're familiar with. Is this? I hope I'm making myself clear. But yeah, you're concerned in a way that's making you feel a little, sad and depressed. Now I get that. I know that because I moved myself one time. However, I was very excited about going to move from the United States to Sydney, Australia, and I was really excited about going. But getting over there, oh my God, I felt, after a short period of time, I just started feeling like, oh my God, I'm like a fish out of water over here, and I just started getting really depressed. I had my daughter with me too, and I was just, I thank God was going to school. I had friends at school, but it was the life outside of school that was pretty quiet, and didn't know anybody. It was just, it was tough. It was really tough. So number 33 concern here is about rumination. It's feeling that angst or that confusion and inability to focus, or even depressed mental state. It's unclear what to do, so there's a negative tendency to catastrophize, to be deeply pessimistic. It describes ambiguities in our daily life, maybe in the sense of lacking career prospects or having fears or related to lack of specialist knowledge or information. In a relationship matter, it warns against being plagued by our pessimism and worry. Try to find clearness. Yeah, I think that there's just, like somebody who is in this energy right now, for you to slip back into that pessimism, it's possible, of course, but you can never be in that for very long. Once you found out where your true strength is, you know where to go to build yourself back up again, to let it go, to release the concern and the pessimism, depression. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I mean, I don't know, because this being a general reading for the whole collective, what your particular concern is about. It's not really telling us about much here. I'm just going to see just one more stab at the truth here, okay, guys? For you, I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to tell us if he can specify something. I mean, this is general, so I'm hoping he can shed some light on something about the concern. About the concern. What is all of this clarification about as it pertains to the concern card that they're actually ultimately clarifying? Please, Archangel Michael. Winter solstice. Find the light within. A year or more. Tie up loose ends. Validate your feelings. Hibernate. It's just not the time, I guess. You don't feel it's the time. King of Coins. The ultimate provider. Okay. One more. The Chariot. Strength of will. Forward movement. Determined. Willpower. Success. Control. Action. Travel. And focus. Whew. I think, you know what I think? I think that with these cards here, this is the peripheral concern. This is the peripheral. This is like the sub concern. The main concern is being able to tie up your loose ends, taking the time that is needed to do that, and to be very clear on what your feelings are towards this one here and making this kind of move, because you want to feel you're a provider. You're an ultimate provider. You've got people to provide for, I guess. Where you're going to be leaving, you got people to provide for, and you probably are going to be providing for this one at some point. The Queen of Coins, which is could be your past, your wife that you divorced. But you want to have financial stability. That could be a concern for sure. If you're uprooting, going to another country, what will you be doing for work that will help you live somewhat familiar lifestyle that you already are used to? And then the Chariot is that you want to move forward, you want to do that, but then there's these concerns. You got loose ends to tie up. You're feeling financially responsible for people and yourself, but yet you still know and want to go. But the peripheral or the sub concern below that is what, this is your main concern. Then your next concern would be how this lady, the Empress, who is the Queen of Wands here, Queen of Swords over here, how she will receive you. That's your next concern. Because, let's see, that was like this, right? Because truth and clarity, honesty, integrity, transparency that you did not offer her in the past because you sabotage. You were I love you with the Page of Cups. I love you, but as soon as you turn around, I'm going to stab you in the back, or I'm going to stab you in the back, or I'm going to stab you in the gut, whichever way it works. with the player activity, you know, taking what you wanted because it was self-serving. Okay, guys, that's where I'm leaving it now. I wish you all the best. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now. I love you.